So, what happened here? How many what happened episodes have we had this year? So, basically, my PC broke at right at the end of Schlocktober this year, which is why there were 3 long episodes instead of 5 still long episodes. Right at the beginning of this year, the plan was for this to be a big Schlocktober year because I had a big plan happening. And what that plan entailed was that we were going to get to the end of 5 episodes, and then at the end there would be a big announcement, a direction type deal, a let's hammer out some plans deal, and that I would have time to get it all set up and prepared and whatever. And then the PC broke right in the middle of a bunch of other work, family matters, needing to get completely repaired, get a new hard drive put in, do some data migration, get everything put back together. Really sucked. Bit of debt accrued for that now. Not great. So that's been the story of it. At this point, you're tired of hearing me talk about not having the means to put the shows back together and get plans back together the way that I want to, because I've been talking about it since the middle of the pandemic and coming back from, if you're a follower, if you're a patron, you know the situation. Things are not going great. Getting better, not fast enough, not happy about it. I don't like talking about it. You don't like hearing about it. It is what it is. When I have more concrete things to say about it, I will, but I don't like to be a downer about it because things are worse for more people, and that is what it is. There has been in production for over a year now is how long it has taken to get even a semblance of, hey, here's new, actual in production stuff to announce is in the offing. And when it is, then we'll be able to put out and say, okay, here's what we're doing. Here's what we need. Here's how we're going to raise goals and funds and stuff like that. The fact is, generationally, I feel incapable of saying, hey, please give me money for nothing right now, but hypothetically something later. The Patreon links are there. If you'd like to go on the Redbubble store, buy a t-shirt, buy something, buy any of the products with logos and such on them, those help as well. Yeah, if not, I completely understand. But the fact is, just simply asking people for money when I don't have anything concrete to sell back for it, rather, other than keep doing this show, is just something that's never sat comfortably for me. It feels like begging. It makes me uncomfortable. When I know that there are so many more worthwhile things, smaller creators, people just starting out, who need it more, who deserve it more. But story for another time. So by the time I got the actual repaired computer back, got everything put back together, October, long gone, well into Thanksgiving, lots of work stuff, lots of money stuff, here we are. This was the original plan for how this was supposed to go. If you saw the early upload videos and the re-uploads, you saw the videos, which, by the way, are now part of some of the stuff that got lost as the computer broke down. Holy shit, actually got lost. When's the last time you saw a drive fail so badly you actually lost real data, like had corrupted files? I didn't think that could happen anymore. Holy shit. When I was in like the flannel shirt and whatnot, sitting off to the side in the editing suite, managed to get this recorded, gone now, so this is off the cuff now. The plan was that the episode would have been a different movie than Engaji. Topicality came into play. Would have been with that same sort of riff at the end about how this is a movie that exists. And it would have trailed off into the pitch for a whole new thing, which I'm going to get to in a moment. See, part of the reason, and this is going somewhere, There's a lot of reasons why The Big Picture has not had as many episodes over the last couple months as it did before. And some of it, yes, is because they're longer, because I can take my time. Some of it is feeling down, self-care. Some of it's money. Some of it's working on more regular stuff, regular gigs, basically, stuff that's going to pay immediately rather than accruing money on YouTube and Patreon. A lot of it is, to put it bluntly, the economics of YouTube and online video, period, which basically means YouTube, but not entirely. Yes, you can apply to maybe join Nebula with the cool kids. Maybe you can put stuff up on Vimeo. Patreon wants to be its own video platform for some reason. The economics are different now. Some of you may not actually know this at this point because it's been a little while, but when the Big Picture started out over a decade ago at this point on the original The Escapist. I'm not even sure if The Escapist proper still exists at this point because anyone who was still doing meaningful stuff there has left and started Second Wind. Good on them. Good to see that. Wish them the best of luck. Original OG version of that I was part of when I was first starting out. When I first got my jump off there with the Big Picture, the point of that show was basically I had a very popular movie review show and was doing well enough. The movie review show was, ratings-wise. Whether or not I was doing well, you tell me. That they gave me a second show. The premise of that show, which for a while was not even on YouTube, was on just that site, was every week that show would be on, and it could be whatever the hell you wanted to say. Just an editorial column in video form, basically. Which made sense in that context. And I still thought was the cool way to do it. Just, you trust this creator, this person's voice, sign on, and here you go. It could be anything. It could be talking about an old cartoon, talking about current events. Do you know about this concept? What do you think about this idea? Whatever. And to me, that is what made it interesting. That's the idea. That's cool. You show up and it's like, what the heck is this guy going to talk about, say, today? You have a pretty good idea, pretty good handle if you're a fan on what is this person going to be on about, but it could be anything. And that's interesting. And that's really the sort of content that I enjoy consuming from short-form creators, as opposed to, that's the reason that I listen to hosted content. That's the reason that I watch a talk show or tune into a show that is this person show, is not to hear them say the same thing on the same topic all the time, is to find out what is their take on this. What are they going to say about this? Whatever this turns out to be. It might not always be of interest to me, but maybe I find out something new. Maybe I hear something different. What YouTube is now, not just for my show, but for everything else that's out there, is now very much antithetical to that. And it wasn't always. The original version of YouTube was literally just, here are channels, here are people putting stuff up. It's just a Wild West. This might be a person's video of walking their dog. This might be a pirated movie. This might be someone going to the zoo. This might be Mentos and Diet Coke. This might be outright pornography. You don't know. But what I would consider the YouTube in its ideal state, before I was fully part of the platform, around when I joined up, and then right to when the full version of YouTube showed up, the bad old days, the all or nothing days, when the AVGN jumped off in terms of really blew up as a popular creator, when a lot of what people would consider the OG YouTubers really kicked off. People generally had a theme going for their work, but really, you could also expect them to do anything else. There was experimentation. Oh, here's this person. I like their style. I like their attitude. Whatever they put out, I'm probably going to watch because it's turning up in my feed, and aren't they interesting? And there was a sense that people could try anything and that you could experience anything. And now, For very obvious reasons. YouTube, because now there's money in it, because they have ads, because this is a profitable business, or they want it to be a profitable business, or a more profitable business. YouTube wants to be television. YouTube wants to replace television, replace cable, replace, like every other, tech company. They think they want to be Hollywood, which is a mistake. Try to be your own thing, but that's shouting into the void at this point. The story of every media company now, in my opinion, is it's like the anchor store on a mall that also has a reasonably good coffee shop inside the Target or the Best Buy or whatever. And then they decide, people seem to like this, so what we should do is we should put in 12 more of these and try to be our own food court. No, you're Best Buy. Be good at being Best Buy. Don't also try to be McDonald's, Burger King, and Taco Bell. Just be what you are, and also sell some gum by the register. But no one ever listens. So, YouTube, very much the algorithm, which is definitely an independent, pseudo-sentient AI generative thing. It's definitely not goosed or controlled or self-selecting for what is going to help the company, perish the thought, has basically pushed itself into a scenario where if you are not, as a creator, making only one kind of video for your channel all of the time, you're going to lose money, lose subscribers, people get mad, you stop getting recommended, and your dollars go down. And that is true whether you are liberal, conservative, whether you are doing movies, doing video games. If you're trying to do interesting, creative, persons saying whatever they want to say, putting up whatever kind of video that you want to put up, expose your prospective audience to as many different ideas and concepts and see what works, throw things against the wall in the spirit of the original organic growth version of the internet, you are going to lose in the long run. It's just how it works. Maybe that's inevitable. Maybe that's the only way for YouTube to make money and for creators to make money through the monetizing of ads. I'd like to think there's another way. I don't see one. And I'm not a, if we just overthrow capitalism sort of guy, because, yes, of course, but, I'm 42. I don't have time to wait around for the revolution. I'm hungry now. And thanks to a little thing called experience, I have good reason not to trust the revolutionaries. You see, I've already gone off on 7 or 8 different tangents here. This was supposed to be about what was up with the big picture and what is coming next and what am I teasing. To me, that's the most interesting sort of guy talking to the camera YouTube video. But it's not what YouTube wants videos to be, and it's also clearly not a lot of people's taste. They want a direct answer. They want I clicked on the moviebob channel. I want whatever I've decided moviebob content is defined as, and only that, and if not, I'm going to click away right away, and the algorithm is going to say no, and it's not going to jump into everyone else's feed, and it's no use complaining about that, whether it's right or wrong to complain about that. It's the way it is. And as someone who is very much a believer in new people, young people, new ideas should be the driving force of economies and technologies and the way things, especially in media, are planned and focused. Frankly, a 42-year-old white guy who's a little bit set in his ways about these things probably shouldn't be the last word in the way these things are supposed to work. But what it comes down to is there aren't as many big picture uploads, not because I've run out of things to say, but because it's difficult to sort them out into what's worth saying. I find myself asking, should I talk about politics this week? Should I talk about a movie this week? Is this more of a movie review? Is this a reaction? Am I more interested in talking about a trailer this week? Will I bore people to death if I'm talking about some esoteric policy thing, or an old book, or an old game, or some such? Should that be a revival of Game Over Thinker? Oh, I don't know. And before you know it, a week has gone by, and all I have are half-written notes, or outlines, or anything like that, and it makes more sense to review a new movie. Now, what you're supposed to do on YouTube as a modern creator is you're supposed to make an entire separate channel, multiple separate channels, and put each of your different veins of content on each one. This is where my movie stuff goes. This is where my politics stuff goes. This is where game stuff goes. And you perform a little differently on each one. And then theoretically, you get 3 times the traffic, if everyone follows you to each one. If. And maybe that's something that can happen at some point. That's worth exploring. I would certainly like 3 times the money. Will all of you follow 3 different moviebob channels where we sort things out onto 3 different channels? Let me know in the comments. This is why I'm a little too old for this kind of platform, is it feels fake if I say that, but I mean it. Let me know in the comments. Smash that subscribe button. Like and subscribe. Flop the bleep switch. That might be a thing, right? I don't know. Squinch the heart blorp. If you really want to hear some old man whining about this, every once in a while I think, you know what I should do? I should do reaction videos. Those get tons of hits. And you know what the problem is with that is that everything that's popular for me to react to, or would be better for me to react to, I can't react authentically to, because let me let you in a little secret about that. The popular traffic for those channels are people my age who enjoy watching people in their 20s and a little bit younger affirm that things that they enjoyed are good by watching them for the first time and saying, yeah, that was pretty good, wow. And I've already seen everything that I like. Like, that there's no value to be found for anyone in me watching Blazing Saddles for the 20th time and saying, yeah, you know, that Mel Brooks is really funny. You know, the audience for those videos are guys my age watching young people watch Blazing Saddles and say, oh, hey, that is good. My dad was right. What do you know? It's affirmation content. Peek behind the curtain. And it goes without saying, the only other alternative for guys my age to make money on this platform is if you're a huge racist, which is unfortunate. You know, if I was a giant racist, there'd be no problem. You know, I'm already deeply unattractive and have a graying beard. So if I just grew this shit out and threw a bunch of Funko Pops behind me and like a neon Batman logo or some shit, and you know, stuck a much more obnoxious microphone in front of my face and went on here and talked about wokeness and how they're transing Batman or something, and you know, suddenly pretended to give a shit about whatever the hot Fox News topic right now was, I would probably have lots of money, both American and Russian, coming right in here, and I'd be all set. What was going to happen with Schlocktober? Well, the plan was to end off whatever the last Schlocktober would have been for this year, which is now Ngaji, with a goofy line about how that is a movie that exists. And then lead into a bit of a monologue like this, spoken word, but not quite in the same setup, about how really a lot of content on YouTube is, when it comes to old movies, you can frame it in saying something bigger about culture, society, film history, whatever, but what you're really getting to is, hey, here's a thing that exists. This movie exists. You're not so much reviewing it, you're not so much saying whether it's bad or good, you're offering an opinion, but usually the fact that you're saying is, this was a movie. It's here. You're affirming the existence of a film. And it's a simple idea, but in this age where physical media is precarious, streaming is both omnipresent and liquid. It comes and it goes. This is a movie that exists, is in its own way a statement. This will sound corny, but as much as I in the past have enjoyed both really, really shitting on bad films, bad filmmakers, and when, talking about politics and history and dealing with bad people, bad events, bad parts of the culture, getting to say, this movie sucks, this person was an asshole, fuck this movie, fuck this guy, fuck this person. And as much as, conversely, it is often nice to say, you know what, this is great. Like, it legitimately feels great to right now be able to say Godzilla Minus One is a great fucking movie. Go see it. And as much as it feels futile, but still vital to say, or to have the conversation, as I'm sure a lot of people will, and I will be one of them, say, people did not give, even though neither of them were perfect films, people really, for stupid reasons, slept on Blue Beetle and The Marvels. Not that these are like struggling indie films, but of all of the mainstream genre content that did not do very well this year, the fact that it was those two things specifically that were kind of sent out to get face the horde and not be able to rise above really sucks, and they deserved better, and they deserved the kind of, hey, everyone get behind this because movies, damn it, support that the fucking Mission Impossible movies always get, and they didn't. And that sucks. That felt righteous. That feels righteous to say. And, getting to champion Godzilla Minus One feels really good to say. Like, yes, this is a good film, a great film, and it's a fucking Godzilla film. Hell yeah, feels good. It also feels good. Almost nothing in my little niche of work here feels as good as being able to, in like a modern version of, the video store clerk, which is something that I did several times for a career in my life when that was a job that existed. Speaking of, being able to hear someone talk about something that interests them or mention another thing that they like, or just, recognizing someone and saying, hey, what's a good movie that you should watch, or what's a movie that exists that you might not have seen, that you might not, this thing, this exists, and you should watch it sometime. Whether or not they enjoy it, just sharing that feels good. And I don't think I'm alone in that. I don't think I'm alone in the singular but also communal experience of that being fun. And a lot of Schlocktober, most of Schlocktober, the impetus behind that, comes from that. And where that pretty much would have been the monologue, but where it would have gone in is, I only ever do it in October, but especially now, why stop? And also, this time I don't think I'm going to. And this is why it pisses me off that the computer had to break down this year of all years, because this was going to be the big payoff. This was the finale, was I'm just not going to stop doing Schlocktober this year. I'm just going to keep going and not so much stop the big picture, but since the big picture is not on a regular schedule, I'm going to start doing Schlocktober more regularly. Basically, movies that are not necessarily horror movies, not necessarily even genre movies. I'm just going to do this type of format where here's a movie, I'm going to tell you what it's about, maybe tell you most of the plot, maybe not, just here's a movie that exists, It's not necessarily a review, just, hey, yeah, I'm going to describe a movie, throw it out there, check it out. Here you go. A show like of that format. The Schlocktober style format, but for things that aren't necessarily horror all year round. Just not going to stop. Just going to keep on going it. And, we'll see if people enjoy that. Maybe that is a show that can catch on and be more of a regular upload, fun thing like The Big Picture. And if that translates into more regular uploads and more ad revenue for me, more's the better. But really, it just feels like something that's more fun to do and that's something people would enjoy, that I would enjoy. What a concept. And where that goes back to the this is a movie that exists is I can't think of anything else to call this other than this movie exists. So that's what we're calling this for now, until I either think of a better title or someone tells me for some reason that I'm not allowed to call it that. But for now, we are calling the new show This Movie Exists. So look forward to that. Look forward to more Big Picture. In answer to your inevitable question, what does this mean for Schlocktober in the future? I have no idea, because I only planned this far and it blew up in my face, so I'm not planning beyond this. Look forward for more reviews, look forward for more Big Picture, and yeah, This Movie Exists, coming soon. What will be the first movie covered? I don't know. But the show will exist, and yeah, that's what we're doing. Stay tuned. What am I doing with my hands?